There's a sound every gamer recognizes instantly. A soft click, a brief shimmer, a small icon in the corner of the screen that tells you this moment has been saved. Most of the time you don't think about it. It's just a habit, something you do automatically, somewhere between one area and the next. But sometimes, just sometimes, you stop and you feel the weight of that small action. I want to save this, right here, right now, before something changes and this exact moment is gone. That feeling, that quiet desire to hold on to something, is not just about games. It might be one of the most human instincts there is. Think about the last time you saved in a game. Maybe it was routine, a checkpoint reached, a task completed. You didn't choose it. It just happened. But think about the times you chose to save, when you stopped mid-exploration. Not because the game asked you to, but because something in you said, I want to come back to this. A view from the top of a mountain the designers didn't draw attention to. A quiet moment by a river before a battle you knew was coming. A small village lit by evening light where you wanted to stay just a little longer. In those moments, saving isn't a technical action. It's something more like gratitude. Life gives us the same instinct, but no save button. We move through our days at a pace that barely allows us to notice them. We're already thinking about the next task before the current one is finished, planning the future so intently that the present slips through our hands like water. And one day, we reach back for a moment we loved and realize we didn't preserve it. We were there, but we weren't paying attention. We didn't save. That moment is gone now. Not lost exactly, but blurred, softened by time into something you can feel, but no longer quite see. Games teach us gently that not everything can be recovered, that some things only last if you stop long enough to hold them. In older games, save points were physical locations, a specific stone, a typewriter in a dimly lit room, a glowing crystal embedded in the floor. You had to find them, reach them, make a deliberate journey to the place where saving was possible. Modern games have made this effortless. Autosaves, cloud backups, checkpoints every 2 minutes. Saving has become invisible. And in some ways, we've lost something in that convenience. Because when saving required effort, it also required intention. You had to ask yourself, is this the right moment? Have I reached something worth preserving? That question, is this worth preserving, is one we almost never ask ourselves in real life. Not about possessions, about experiences, about moments. The conversation at the kitchen table that lasted longer than it should have and ended in something real. The afternoon with no plan and no agenda, where nothing happened and everything was exactly right. The laugh you didn't see coming, from someone you hadn't heard laugh in a long time. These are the save points in a human life. Not the milestones the world tells you to celebrate. Not the promotions and the anniversaries, though those matter too. The quiet ones. The ones that don't announce themselves. Those are the moments most worth saving, and the ones most easily lost. There's a strange thing that happens with memory. We forget the events we tried hardest to remember. The carefully photographed holidays, the planned celebrations, the occasions we told ourselves we would never ever forget. And we remember, in vivid, specific detail, things we never tried to save at all. The smell of a particular kitchen, the feeling of a summer afternoon with nowhere to be, the exact quality of light through a window you haven't seen in 30 years. Memory is not a camera. It doesn't preserve what we pointed at. It preserves what moved us, what surprised us, what caught us off guard when we weren't defending ourselves against feeling something. In gaming, the moments players remember most are rarely the boss fights they prepared for. They're the unexpected ones, the emergent ones, the moment when the sunset rendered perfectly and you stopped moving for 30 seconds just to look at it. These accidental save points are the ones that last longest, and they share one thing in common. We were present for them, not thinking about what came next, not documenting them for later. Just there, fully, completely, in that exact moment. Presence is the only real save mechanism we have. The moments we are truly inside, those are the ones that stay with us. Most players have a story like this. You're deep in a game. Something is going well, really well. You're in a rhythm, making progress, feeling capable and alive in the world. And you tell yourself, I'll save in a minute. Just one more section, just a little further. And then something happens. The game crashes. The power goes out. A mistake you can't undo. And you're back much further than you thought. The progress is gone. And you feel, in a way that is completely disproportionate to the situation, a kind of quiet grief. Because it wasn't just progress. It was time, attention, a version of you that existed in those moments, that no longer exists. In life, this looks like regret. Not the dramatic kind, not the enormous decisions we revisit endlessly, but the quiet kind, the conversation you meant to have and kept postponing, the visit you planned and never made, the thing you wanted to say to someone, and then the moment for saying it quietly passed. We don't always know in advance which moments deserve to be saved, but we can learn to slow down enough to recognize more of them before they're gone. We can learn to save more often and more consciously. In games, experienced players develop a habit. They save regularly, not just at the obvious moments, before big battles, at the end of long sessions, but throughout, quietly, consistently, as a way of honoring the progress they've made and protecting what they've built. This is a practice, and like all practices, it becomes natural the more deliberately you do it. In life, saving looks different for everyone. For some people, it's a journal, not a detailed record of events, just a few honest lines at the end of the day. What surprised you? What moved you? What you want to carry forward? For others, it's a photograph taken not for anyone else, but for themselves. A quiet record of an ordinary moment they don't want to lose. For others still, it's a phone call made before it becomes too late to make it. A visit that happens this year, not next year. A conversation that doesn't get postponed again. None of these are grand gestures. None of them require much time. They require only one thing, the decision to notice that something is worth saving before the moment passes. That decision, made regularly, made quietly, is one of the most meaningful habits a person can build. It is, in the truest sense, how we save our lives. Here is something that modern life does not make easy. Pausing, not stopping, not quitting, not giving up on what you're building. Just pausing. Stepping back from the forward motion for long enough to look around at where you actually are. In games, the save screen creates a small but important interruption. The world goes still. The music softens. For just a moment, you are outside the action. Not in it, but looking at it, seeing it whole. That pause is a gift, and we almost never give it to ourselves. We're afraid of what we might feel if we stop moving. Afraid that stillness will reveal something we'd rather not look at. Afraid that pausing means falling behind. But the players who save regularly, who stop, check their inventory, look at the map, take honest stock of where they are, those players move through the world with more confidence, more clarity, more awareness of what they're doing and why they're doing it. Pausing doesn't cost you time. It gives back the time you were spending without noticing. And in a life that moves as quickly as ours does, the pause, the quiet, deliberate decision to stop and save might be the most important move you make all day. If there's something you've been meaning to preserve, a moment, a conversation, a feeling you don't want to lose, don't wait for the right time. The right time is now. Not because everything is fleeting, but because the things that matter most deserve to be held carefully, with attention, before they soften into something you can only almost remember. In games and in life, the save point is yours to choose. Choose well, choose often, and take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.